I get asked most about in my illustration work is what brushes do I use. So I put together this video where I show you what brushes that I use and how I created them. I'll show you how to create your own custom brushes and talk to you about the benefits of creating your own custom brushes to give your artwork its very own look and feel and create your own style. So I'm going to show you how to create some custom brushes in Adobe Illustrator. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Adobe Illustrator here. I'm just going to open a new document. It doesn't matter the size or anything like that at all, because for this exercise I'm just going to be showing you how to create your brushes. We're not going to be creating actual artwork. Now, one thing to note, I do a lot of my work on the iPad as well, and at the time of making this video, the custom brushes is not a feature that is supported in the iPad version of Adobe Illustrator. But that's not a problem because we can create our work using just a regular stroke. We can then bring our artwork into the desktop version of Adobe Illustrator once it's completed, and you can just apply your strokes in exactly the same way. So it's a very quick workaround, and I understand that the brushes feature is coming very soon to the iPad, but for the moment we can still work around it. Now, what you'll see straight away is over here on the right hand side there are brushes that already load with every Illustrator file that you open, and you can also import some brushes that are built in to Adobe Illustrator itself. There are several different types of brush that you can create, and the type of brush that you want to create really depends on the way you work, your style, and also the tools you use to work. So I use a Wacom Cintiq, which is a graphics monitor with a stylus pen that I can draw directly onto the screen. So that's really handy for creating what are called calligraphy brushes. So we're going to go into those first. If you don't use a Wacom and you don't have a drawing monitor and you just use a mouse, not to worry at all, we can still create some really cool brushes which we'll come on to in a moment. So you'll see this generic brush which is built in. There's several of them here that have various different styles to them. None of them again are particularly great, so we're going to create our own one. So what we're going to do is we're going to create our own brush, but we're going to apply a pressure sensitivity to it. So for those of you that are using a tablet, this is perfect to give you some weighted line. So we're going to go over here, just select new brush. Now this is where we're going to create the calligraphic brush, like I said. So I'm going to click OK on here. And what we're going to do is, you don't really have to change in these variables. Of course you can go ahead and rename your brush if you want to. But what we're going to do over here is on size, I'm going to put this down to pressure. And what I'm going to do over here is bring that up to 9 point. Now basically what that means is whatever figure you have here, that's going to be the size of your brush. And whatever the variation, that means that it goes the full width of that 9 point. So if my range was only 2, the range isn't going to be great on that brush with the pressure. You're probably not going to notice it as much. So if I give you the example here, I have applied pressure to that brush, but it's really not very noticeable because the range is so small. So if I go ahead and create a new one again and go on here on pressure, if I set this up to the maximum of 9, what you'll see now is we get a completely different effect to that brush, where we get a range from thick to thin, and you can really play around with the weighted line. Now I do some of my work with the calligraphic brush with a pressure sensitivity. It's really great if you're doing portraits, if you're doing hair and things like that, where you want a little bit of variation. But to be honest with you, where I like to keep my work really clean, I like to have control over the weight of the brush that I use. If you're not using a graphics monitor and a stylus, or if you are but you just want more control over your brushes like I do, then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create an artistic brush. Now I'm just going to go ahead and delete these out again just to keep it clean over here so you can see what I'm creating. It will always by default leave you with one of each brush there. You'll never be able to remove those. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create a new artistic brush. So if we go ahead, I'm just going to create a very basic shape here and make it into a fill. So, but what we can do now is if I select that and go into brushes and then select new brush over here. But if you notice when we set up the brush previously, we didn't have these options available to us because we didn't have anything selected. So now we have our shape selected, we can use that to create the brush. So you'll see we now have the art brush available to us. So we're going to go ahead and select that art brush. Now again, you've got the details up here, you can change the name of it. I don't really play around with any of these settings because you can do all of this within the stroke feature of the line itself. The only feature that I do change up here is the colorization. So you're going to change the method. By default it's on none. We're going to set it to tints and we're just going to set OK. Now what that's done is we can delete that shape. You'll see over here it's actually added our brush here. So if I just take the pen tool and draw a straight line, apply a stroke to that, what I can now do is select our brush, and you'll see that it's created that as a path. So we can go ahead and add in some anchor points, or you can play around with these, and you'll see it's a completely editable stroke. And you can apply that to the pen tool, you can apply it to shapes, and like I said, within the stroke tool over here, this is where you can play around with the size of it, so you don't really need to worry too much about the settings. The only setting that we did change was the colorization, and what that enables us to do is now, because this is a live path, we can change the color of the stroke very simply by just selecting our colors. Now that brush that we just created, there's really nothing special about that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create a custom brush. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that one again, just to avoid any confusion. Now what I'm going to do is select the black color. Now in the same way as we did before, I'm going to create a tapered line using that ellipse tool. Now I like to keep my line work very clean and sharp, but I also like an element of randomness to it, so that it looks a little hand drawn. It doesn't look too precise and too digital. So we can create the shape using the ellipse tool that we created this tapered line with. All I'm simply going to do now is add in some anchor points. It doesn't really matter how many of them you add or where you add them, really just have a play around. I personally don't have too many in there because I don't feel that it needs it, but we've got some anchor points in there. Now what we can do is we can take our adjustment tool within the selection, and along these anchor points, just very slightly, we don't need to do anything too drastic with it, but we can just move these around to create a little bit of wobble to this line. So now we have our shape created with the little bits of wobble in there and the little inaccuracies that give it more of a natural hand-drawn approach. And in exactly the same way, we're going to select the brush, so select our shape, go over to the brushes, select new, and again, because it's selected, we have these options available to us. If the shape isn't selected, you won't see these options available. So we're going to select our art brush again, going to click OK. Again, we can leave all these details. We'll change our colorization to tints, and we click OK. And what we'll see now is when we draw a path and apply our brush stroke to it, we've got more of a jaggedy rough line. And what we can do with that is, in the same way, apply your stroke, and what you'll see now is we've got more of it's still a very clean line, but it's just got a bit more randomness to it. So it just gives it, for those people that if you were to ever print in high definition or really zoom into this work, you'll see that the line is not exact, and it gives it more of a natural feel while still keeping a very clean, precise vector look and feel to it. And like I said, you can still select this shape, you can play around with the weight of the line, and you can also go in here and change the colors of it to whatever you wanted it to be. But really just have a play around with creating some shapes and seeing what you can create as a brush, just to see what works for you and what you like as a style. So again, I'll just play around with some shapes here really quickly just to give you some examples. Obviously you don't have to copy me or do the brushes in the same way that I am. But again, with the shape selected, we go over here, set it as an art brush, set our tints. And now what we can see, if I delete that off, is we've got our path here. And you can see how you can start to create some really cool brushes, and you don't have to create just one brush and use that for the whole piece of artwork. It might be in different places, you're using different effects and you want a slightly different brush for whatever it is you're creating, but that gives you hopefully an insight into how I go about creating my brushes. Now, as well as inking lines, you can also create some really cool brushes that are super handy for lots of different effects that you may need to create. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to create a series of circles. These may appear quite random, and in fact they are. I'm just dragging them around. There's no particular logic or place as to where they are. But what you'll see is we're going to create a really cool effect over here. Now, I'm going to select these circles, put the opacity down to about 50. So we've got some transparency coming through there on those shapes as they overlap. Now, what we're going to do here is with those shapes selected, we're going to create our next version of the brush, which is a scatter brush. Now we've created our calligraphic brush, and we've also created the art brush. The bristle brush and pattern brush, I don't use those. They are more, I guess if you had more of a watercolor kind of style to your work, then by all means have a play around with those. These are the three main brushes that I use. So this one we're going to create as a scatter brush. Now over here, what we're going to do is we're going to change the size over here to be random. And we're just going to play around with these here just to have some slight variations. Those figures don't have to be exact, and you'll see in a moment we can actually come back to playing around with those. So I'm just going to select OK. Now I can delete these shapes out. You'll see our brushes come up here. Now what we can do is if I draw a path, apply a stroke to it, and if I apply our brush now, what we can see is we've got this really cool kind of effect here. Now, like I said, what we can do with any of these brushes is we can go in and double click on them, and we can create them and edit them in the same way. So if you get a brush and it's not quite how you want it to be, don't panic, because what you can do is you can go into the brush, click the little preview box down here, and what you'll see is as you play around with these settings in here, you'll see you get a live update of how that affects the brush. For those of you that follow my work quite a lot, you may have seen it before, because what it does is it creates a kind of abstract crowd. Now, if for example, if I just go out to my desktop quickly here and open up this file, this is a piece of work that I previously created. Some of you guys may have seen this before, but what you'll see in here is the crowd around here. I've used that exact same brush to create this crowd. So you'll see here, by creating brushes and having a play around with brushes, you can see how you can create some really cool effects outside of just using brushes for line work. Now another cool thing you can do with the brushes, I'm just going to select this as a black fill. They're very similar to the last scatter brush I created. I'm just going to create a couple of circles here and put some space between them. Now if you select two shapes with this blend tool, you can then go in and specify a distance or a number of steps between each of those 2 points. The important step up here is we just need to select blend and expand it, so the blend is expanded and these are now shapes. We're going to go over here to our brushes and we're going to select art brush, and what you'll see now is we've got this kind of halftone brush over here. Now this is really cool. If I select this, you can now see this kind of halftone effect. So as you can see, there's lots of different uses for brushes, not just for creating brushes to use in your line work and for sketching, but actually to use in the artwork itself for adding colour and texture and different personal effects to your artwork. On the screen you can see an overview of my most commonly used brushes that I've created. I look forward to seeing the brushes that you come up with and seeing how you use them in your work. I hope this video has been helpful to you, and I'll see you in the next video.